Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're doing something a little different. We've got our hands on a text. It's called My Simple Workday.
Right.
And it was designed to teach basic English. It follows this guy, Daniel, through his day. But when we read it, we saw something else entirely. It's like a blueprint.
It really is a blueprint for managing your workflow, for keeping stress down, and, for actually feeling good at the end of the day.
Exactly. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to treat this simple text like an archaeological dig and see what we can find.
Yeah, our mission is to basically dissect Daniel's routine hour by hour. We're looking for those little habits, the structures that make his day so effective, not just, simple to read about.
Okay, let's jump in. The architecture of his morning. It all starts with, intense consistency. He wakes up at 7 o'clock on the dot.
And it's not just the time, it's what he does immediately after. The text says he stretches and he smiles.
Which sounds a little fluffy, doesn't it?
It does, but it's not. This is what you might call a somatic anchor. It's a physical action designed to immediately shift your nervous system.
A somatic anchor. Okay, explain that, because I think most people, they hit the alarm and the first thing they feel is dread.
Exactly. That dread, that's your fight or flight system kicking in. By deliberately, physically stretching and smiling, Daniel is. He's giving his body an immediate countersignal.
Yeah.
He's basically telling his brain, we're approaching this day with intention, not with panic. He's regulating his mood before the world has a chance to mess with it.
So it's about taking control from the very first second. Okay, so after that, he gets dressed, makes coffee, and the text is really specific here. The coffee makes him feel awake and ready.
It's a tool. Everything has a purpose. But here, this is the most critical part of his morning for me, the commute. At 8 o'clock, he leaves and walks to the bus stop.
Right. And what he does on the bus is key.
It's everything. He sits by the window, he puts on music, and this is the important part. He thinks about his day.
No phone, no frantically checking emails or scrolling through news. It's just quiet, dedicated thinking time.
This is a masterclass in what we'd call reducing context switching cost. The average person tries to plan their day while they're already in their day, answering emails and putting out fires.
Which is a disaster.
It's completely inefficient. Daniel uses that physical travel time, that quiet bus ride, as a protected mental space. He is preloading his decisions for the day, figuring what to do, what order to do it in, before any digital distraction can get to him.
So he eliminates that friction before he even sits down at his desk.
But hang on. This sounds great, but it kind of depends on having a quiet bus, right? I mean, what if your commute is just, an hour of chaos on a packed train? Does the whole system just fall apart?
That's a fair challenge. I think the principle still holds, even if the location has to change. If the commute itself is stressful, you have to create that buffer somewhere else.
Like where? Maybe it's the first 15 minutes in a coffee shop near your office. Or maybe you get to your desk and you just don't open your inbox for the first half hour. The point is that pre-work planning ritual is the non-negotiable part. Where you do it can be flexible.
Got it. Okay, so by 9 o'clock, he's at his desk. He's mentally ready to go. He turns on the computer, checks emails, reviews his tasks. And because of the bus ride, that review probably takes, 5 minutes, not 30?
Exactly. The morning clarity lets him skip the decision fatigue and just get started.
So that brings us into the main work block, 9 to noon. The source says his work is varied. Sometimes he's alone, sometimes he has meetings. So what can we guess about how he uses that solo time?
Well, given the setup, we can infer that he's using that quiet time for what people now call deep work.
The really hard stuff.
The hard stuff, yeah. The things that require real, uninterrupted focus. He must be doing those in the morning because he's already planned for them. The meetings, the more collaborative work, he probably batches those for other times so they don't break up his focus.
So it's not just a simple schedule. It's about separating the thinking from the collaborating. But of course, no simple day goes perfectly to plan.
No. And we get the core conflict right here. His computer froze. He couldn't open his files. This is, for so many people, the thing that torpedoes the whole day.
And he says he felt a little stressed, which, is totally understandable.
Of course. But look how he reacts. Look at the speed of his recovery. He doesn't just sit there and struggle with it alone for an hour.
No, he gets help.
His coworker comes over, and the text says together they fixed it. And what's the result? He felt much better almost instantly.
So that's the real lesson, isn't it? The cost of struggling by yourself is huge. It's not just the time you lose, it's the energy, the focus for the rest of the day.
Absolutely. Daniel's quick collaboration basically minimized the damage of that error. It shows that he sees collaboration as a strategic buffer against stress. He used a resource, another person, to solve it fast.
So what could have been a huge stressful problem becomes just a minor shared inconvenience.
And that's what allows him to get right back into his work.
Let me push back on that, though, just for a second. This whole solution depends on having a helpful coworker who is just right there.
True.
A lot of workplaces now are remote or siloed or just super competitive. If his resilience is all based on other people, doesn't that make his simple day actually kind of fragile?
That's a really important question about the system he's in. If you want to copy Daniel's routine, you need to be in an environment that allows for that kind of quick help.
Or build it yourself.
Or build it yourself, exactly. Yeah. If you don't have a coworker next to you, you need a really good IT help desk, or you need to have already built a network of people you know you can call. The principle isn't hope someone is nice, it's minimize friction, maximize immediate help.
Okay, that reframes it. Collaboration isn't a bonus, it's a core part of personal resilience.
And that idea of connection brings us perfectly to his midday break. At 12 o'clock, like clockwork, he stops.
And he doesn't just eat a sad sandwich at his desk. He meets his friend Anna for lunch. This is an intentional social reset.
Yes. This is a perfect example of what we call active recovery, which is very different from passive recovery.
What's the difference?
Passive recovery is like scrolling through your phone while you eat. It stops you from working, sure, but it doesn't really recharge your brain. Active recovery, like talking with a friend about your day, and the text says they were laughing a lot.
Yeah.
That engages a completely different part of your brain. The laughter, the connection, that is a powerful release. It guarantees a real mental break from the morning's stress.
So the lunch isn't a luxury. It's mandatory maintenance for his brain. It helps him process the stress from the computer freezing so he doesn't carry it into the afternoon.
Precisely. And look at his afternoon. It's all about finishing tasks and sending reports. It's pure execution. There are no big new decisions to be made.
Because the morning planning and the restorative lunch set him up to just finish the race.
He's closing all the loops. That's so important. By finishing things and sending those reports, he's avoiding that, that nagging feeling of unfinished business that can ruin your evening.
He's emptying his plate, so to speak.
He's emptying his cognitive workspace. That is the essential step you have to take before you can truly relax.
And that leads him right to his hard stop. 5 o'clock, he's done. And the emotional payoff here, this is the real proof that the system works.
He says he feels a little tired, but also proud of my day. That's the perfect combination. The tiredness is physical, it's earned, but the pride, that's the feeling of accomplishment, of control.
Yeah, that pride is the antidote to the anxiety so many of us feel, when we leave work feeling like we just spun our wheels all day and got nothing done. He knows he accomplished his plan.
And that sense of accomplishment carries right into his wind down. He walks home, another physical transition, makes dinner, and then he relaxes.
And he's even intentional about relaxing. He gives himself 2 specific, easy options. Read a book or watch a TV show.
This is so smart. It's a defense against decision fatigue. At the end of a long day, the last thing you want is 1,000 choices. What should I do? What should I watch?
You just end up scrolling on your phone for an hour?
Exactly. The least rewarding thing. Daniel has this pre-approved relaxation menu with just 2 items. It guarantees he actually recharges instead of just wasting more mental energy trying to decide how to relax.
It's incredible. This whole deep dive from what's basically a children's language text has uncovered this really sophisticated system for living.
It really has. To sum it all up for you, I think Daniel's blueprint rests on a few key pillars. First, yes, the consistent timing, but it's anchored by those little rituals, like the smiling, that proactively manage his mood.
Right. And second, those intentional buffer zones, like the quiet bus ride, that let him plan ahead and cut down on friction during the day.
Third, using collaboration not just as a nice thing to do, but as a strategic tool to solve problems fast. Don't go it alone. And finally, that mandatory active recovery, the lunch with Anna, to make sure his mental battery actually gets recharged.
It all comes back to being incredibly intentional.
It does. But we've also seen just how much his simple day depends on other people, on his relationships, to help him manage his own state of mind.
That's a great point. So we'll leave you with a final thought to chew on, something that builds on Daniel's routine.
If the simple success of fixing that frozen computer depended entirely on a coworker being available to help, and his mental reset for the afternoon depended entirely on having a friend like Anna to laugh with,
then how much of your own effectiveness, your own sense of calm, is actually built on the complex social scaffolding all around you, the people you rely on every single day? Maybe it's time to consider the hidden, essential value of those connections in keeping your own days simple.